What happens when legacy meets reality? When a quarterback raised under the brightest spotlight suddenly finds himself waiting, watching, and wondering if his name will ever be called. That's the story surrounding Shedeur Sanders, son of NFL legend Deion "Primetime" Sanders, a player who went from being the face of Colorado football to the quiet shadow of Cleveland's depth chart. The hype around Shedeur was massive. He wasn't just a college star. He was a brand. Flashy watches, record-breaking stats, and viral moments defined his rise. Every move he made carried the swagger of his last name. But the NFL doesn't care about hype. It cares about performance, timing, and fit. And in Cleveland, that fit is looking more complicated than anyone expected. New footage from Browns practice shows Shedeur staying sharp, running drills, and keeping his energy high. Just in case his number gets called. But behind the optimism, whispers have started to spread. Insiders claim the Browns might trade him before the deadline, while others insist owner Jimmy Haslam is too invested in the young QB's potential and marketability to let him go. The rumors are growing louder. The locker room politics are heating up, and the pressure on Shedeur is reaching a boiling point. This isn't just another rookie story. It's a test of patience, pride, and perception. Because when your name is Sanders, expectations don't just follow you, they chase you. Shedeur Sanders wasn't just another college quarterback. He was the story. At Colorado, every snap felt like a highlight reel. Every throw a statement. Playing under his father, Deion "Primetime" Sanders, Shedeur brought swagger, precision, and leadership that turned the Buffaloes into must-watch TV. Fans expected him to be a top NFL draft pick, the next big name to carry the Sanders legacy onto Sundays. But when draft day came, reality hit hard. Teams passed, scouts doubted, and questions about his transition to the pros started swirling. He eventually landed in Cleveland, not as a franchise savior, but as a developmental piece. The same cameras that once captured his rise now caught him waiting on the sidelines. For Shedeur, it was a humbling reminder. College fame doesn't guarantee NFL success. And as the hype cooled, the real challenge began, proving that Primetime's son could create his own spotlight in a league that shows no mercy to names or legacies. When Shedeur Sanders arrived in Cleveland, the script was supposed to write itself. A young, confident quarterback stepping into the NFL, ready to prove the doubters wrong. But the Browns' depth chart told a different story. With veterans already locked into key roles and Deshaun Watson expected to return, Shedeur found himself buried under layers of maybe later. Still, cameras often catch him during practice, focused, patient, and prepared. He's throwing with intensity, staying sharp, doing everything right. Yet, game after game, his helmet stays on the sideline. For a player who once commanded a locker room, that kind of waiting tests your confidence. Behind the scenes, insiders whisper that the organization likes his potential but doesn't see him as part of the short-term plan. And that's the toughest part of all, when your talent isn't in question, but your timing is. The NFL moves fast, and patience isn't always rewarded. Shedeur's future in Cleveland might not depend on how good he is, but on how long he can. The whispers started quietly. A few reporters here, a leaked note there, but soon the rumors were everywhere. Could the Browns actually trade Shedeur Sanders before the deadline? According to insiders like Tony Grossi, it's not impossible. With Deshaun Watson expected to return soon and rookie Dillon Gabriel fighting for reps, Cleveland suddenly looks overcrowded at quarterback. And in a league where every roster spot counts, that makes Shedeur a potential trade piece. Some reports suggest a few teams have already inquired, curious about his upside, his arm, and his name. After all, the Sanders brand still carries weight, both on the field and in marketing rooms. But trading him would send shockwaves across the NFL, not just because of his potential, but because of what it would say about Cleveland's faith in him. Still, football is business first. If the Browns think the market is right, sentiment won't stand in the way. Whether it's strategy or smoke, one thing's clear. Shedeur's future in Cleveland is suddenly up for debate, and every whisper feels louder than the last. Being Deion Sanders' son isn't just a blessing. It's a burden that follows every snap. Shedeur Sanders grew up under the brightest lights, where confidence was expected, not earned. From the moment he picked up a football, comparisons were inevitable. Fans wanted another prime time, not realizing how heavy that shadow could be. Every throw, every interview, every sideline expression gets magnified because his last name isn't just famous, it's iconic. But behind the sunglasses and swagger, there's a young quarterback fighting to be seen as his own man. Every mistake becomes a headline, every quiet game an invitation for critics to doubt him. Yet, Shedeur keeps showing up, composed, patient, refusing to crack under pressure. It's the same poise his father taught him, but the fight is all his. Because while Deion built the legend, Shedeur's trying to build the legacy. And proving you belong when the world already thinks it knows your story, that's the hardest play of all. Right now, Shedeur Sanders sits at a crossroads. A young quarterback with everything to prove and everything to lose. His future isn't just about football. It's about reputation, timing, and money. Every week he spends on the sideline, his stock shifts. Every rumor of a trade, every insider leak, every fan debate adds pressure. If he stays, he has to fight for a spot behind an established starter. If he leaves, ... He risks being labeled as another hyped college star who couldn't stick. The stakes go beyond the field. We're talking endorsement deals, NIL carryover value, and the Sanders brand image, all riding on how he handles this stretch. The NFL doesn't wait for anyone, and one wrong move can turn a career into a cautionary tale overnight. The next few months will decide whether Shedeur's name headlines highlight reels or trade rumors. And with the deadline creeping closer, one question looms. Will Cleveland double down on his potential or cash out before someone else does? Either way, the next play he makes could define his entire NFL chapter. Shedeur Sanders' story is still being written, and right now, it's teetering between redemption and regret. The hype, the headlines, the pressure. All of it has built a storm around a young quarterback trying to find his place in a league that rarely forgives hesitation. He's got the talent, the pedigree, and the poise. But talent isn't enough in the NFL. Timing, trust, and opportunity decide everything. Whether the Browns hold on or ship him out, Shedeur's next move will define more than his career. It'll define how he's remembered. Will he rise above the noise and prove he's more than a last name, or become another case of potential buried by politics? For now, all he can do is stay ready. Because in football, fortunes flip fast, and the same crowd questioning you today could be chanting your name tomorrow. The spotlight never fades for a Sanders. It just waits for the moment you earn it back.